This is breaking news.
Cher, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Snoop Dogg Saturday Night Live is feted with a concert for the ages. The time Cher sang, "If I could turn back time," it seemed as if time had indeed been turned back, and every single Saturday Night Live musical guest of 50 years had magically found their way to Radio City Music Hall. Of course, it was only a smattering. But SNL 50, the homecoming concert, boasted an epic lineup. It was an evening of memorable solo performances and often fascinating one-time-only collaborations. Raitt and Chris Martin, Arcade Fire, David Byrne, Street Vincent, and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band, Malone and Nirvana. The concert, hosted by Jimmy Fallon, was only one element of what has become an enormous celebration of the show's 50 years in existence, leading up to Sunday's SNL 50. The anniversary special, live from Studio 8H. But Friday night was all about music. Some highlights. Return of the 1990s. If a decade can win the night, let's hear it for the 1990s. A classic performance from that decade was most likely to get the Radio City audience on its feet, singing along and pulling out their phones to record. The Backstreet Boys proved irresistible when they broke into "I Want It That Way." Snoop Dogg may have sung Gin and Juice, but he was trailed by enough smoke to give nearby audience members a contact high. Wearing a gigantic coat befitting a winter night, Lauryn Hill commanded the stage with Wyclef Jean, and the crowd melted at the first notes of "Killing Me Softly." Yes, some comics can do music. Naturally, some former SNL cast members reprised old characters, with varying levels of success. The Culps, the stuffy music teachers played by Will Ferrell and Anna Gasteyer, hit harder and funnier than they ever did on the show. Their attempts at being current were hilarious, and they even worked in a few verses of "Not Like Us," with a plea for harmony between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Andy Samberg and Chris Parnell's "Lazy Sunday" was welcome, but too short. Lady Gaga was a good sport, replacing Justin Timberlake to sing about a Christmas gift, whose title can't be repeated here. But Bill Murray's lounge singer foursome routine with Gasteyer, Maya Rudolph, and Cecily Strong fell a bit flat. They love Lorne. SNL creator Lorne Michaels didn't perform, but he was referred to all night long. "I love you, Lorne Michaels," declared Miley Cyrus, dedicating her hit song "Flowers" to the show's founder. Raitt, finishing "I Can't Make You Love Me," thanked Michaels for having her on the show so many times. "Let's give it up for Lorne," said former cast member Adam Sandler, introducing a collaboration between Post Malone and Nirvana. "We love you, buddy." And Marcus Mumford, lead singer of the British folk band Mumford & Sons, said he was there to represent Michael's admirers from across the pond. Creative collabs. The night featured fascinating collaborations that brought together musicians of all kinds. Cyrus teamed with Brittany Howard to sing Queen's "Crazy Little Thing Called Love." Arcade Fire joined with David Byrne, Street Vincent, and the Preservation Hall Jazz Band to perform David Bowie's Heroes. Byrne later also collaborated with Robin, in matching khaki suits, for Dancing on My Own, and This Must Be the Place, Nave Melody. And for Raitt's second song, she sat down with Chris Martin, the Coldplay frontman who became her pianist for "I Can't Make You Love Me." In another collab of sorts, the B-52s were joined on "Love Shack" by former and current SNL cast members Fred Armisen, Bowen Yang, and Sarah Sherman, singing the "Bang Bang" lyrics. Lady Gaga collaborated with herself, singing both parts of "Shallow" and "Bringing Down the House." Most Valuable Player. Questlove is more associated with The Tonight Show, but he is proving to be the MVP of these Saturday Night Live anniversary festivities. Not only did the drummer produce the splendid documentary on the SNL musical legacy, but he effortlessly kept the beat with the Roots, his legendary hip-hop group, and Tonight Show house band, as they covered every style imaginable, from Snoop to Eddie Vedder to Brandi Carlile. Byrne bowed in appreciation. No joke. Carlile has become known lately for her collaborations, most notably coaxing Joni Mitchell back to the stage. Friday Night provided a reminder of her own artistry with the political climate, adding a special urgency to her impassioned version of the joke. A second Nirvana reunion. For the second time in as many weeks, the surviving members of Nirvana reunited. Rather than the quartet of women who fronted the band for the Fire Aid concert, Malone took Kurt Cobain's place on Friday. Their version of Smells Like Teen Spirit was fierce, a reminder of why the song packed such a wallop when it was first heard.